Welcome putting fans from across the nation. We are here at Putting World. This is the World Putting Tour August edition event number 5 recap video. We got some of the nation's best putters out here. Let's take a look at some of the tougher holes on the course. This is hole number 1. Little bit of a dogleg right. Goes from downhill to uphill on this plateau. This is hole number 2. There's a hill on the right-hand side of this hole that really makes this hole very difficult. One of the tougher holes on the course. When they put the tee box over on the left, it's very tough to keep the ball on the putting surface. This is hole number 5. Once again, it's tough to tell in this video, but there's a big hill on the right-hand side. Very easy to go long and off the green on this hole, especially if you're playing that right to left break from the right-hand side. Let's take a look now at hole number 13. A very difficult hole, a huge slope from right to left. And hole 14, it's hard to tell in this video, but this is a downhill putt, an extreme left to right breaking putt, and one of the tougher holes on the course. Let's go over some of the World Putting Tour rules and procedures. In regard to format, this tournament will consist of 4 rounds. Rounds 1, 2, and 3 will be a shotgun start, and round 4 will be a normal start where players with the worst scores will go first, players with the best scores will finish last. There's a unique rule in regard to out of bounds on this course. A ball rolled off of the putting surface into the rough will be considered out of bounds, and a player must hit again from the exact same spot and they will incur a 1-stroke penalty. First place for this event will win $10,000. Now let's go down to the course for round 1 action. Let's go to hole 1. We have Lance Brown, former NFL football player. Nice 6-foot left to right putt there. Here's hole number 5, and you can see how drastic this break is. Very easy to run this long off the back of this hole. This gentleman here will have about 2.5 feet for par. He rolls it in nicely. This is hole number 6. From this back left tee box, players are going way out to the far right and bringing it off that hillside. Here's Charles Cleansbaker, hole number 5, and you can see how treacherous this hole can be that is out of bounds. Here's Jacob Stas, hole number 2, and this is an absolute beauty. He started it off left initially. It swings out to the right, and then it hits that hill and comes back to the left. Here's Charles Kingsbaker hitting his 3rd shot, and oh no, out of bounds again. It looks like he's trying to play it out of that rough, and he just wasn't able to execute that. Now here's one of the best putters in the world, Chris Johnson. What an absolute magnificent putt there. Rolls it through the rough and in. Very few players are taking that line, but you got one of the best in the world there showing you how it's done. Here's Andrew Willis, last tournament's champion. Just missed that there. And this gentleman in the wheelchair is putting really good today. Here's Ryan Day, hole number 12. Nice par for him. Here's Brock Gillespie, hole 15. He's had a little bit of a rough start, but he gets one back right here with a nice birdie. Here's Chris Johnson, hole 6. Chris electing to go left initially, and it just isn't going to swing back enough for him. Here's Andrew Willis for par. And here's Mike Gonzalez for par. We have our first leaderboard here, and it's John Kropanak leading the way at -4. John, a very established National Putting Tour player. Here's Blake Christensen with a nice putt. Just misses there. And here's National Putting Tour legend Richard Herbert. This is hole number 11. That breaks a little bit left to right. Just didn't play left right there. Here's hole number 14. You can see this downhill putt. It should break a little bit left to right, but that one unfortunately just stayed there for him. Here's Mike Gonzalez, hole 15. We'll have a tap in for par here. And here's Jacob Stas, hole 13. You can see how he's playing it out to the right there. Usually this will come off that back hill, but unfortunately that's going to stay there for Jacob. There's Jeff Kirk for par on hole 15. Here's Jacob Stas, hole 13. A little tiny left to right on this putt, and he executed that perfectly. Here's National Putting Tour OC champion Parker Colvin. Parker playing his first WPT event. And here's the legend Jeff Gibraltar. Jeff now at -3 through 8 holes in his round. And here's Ryan Day, hole 15. Just didn't play enough break there. He'll tap this in for his par. Jacob Stas, hole 14. Jacob, absolutely meticulous with his pre-shot routine. I don't know if anybody in the competitive putting world stays more steady through the ball than Jacob. It's one of the reasons why he's such a good putter. He's got this on a beautiful line, oh yes. And Jacob now climbs up into that leaderboard. He's in second place at 3 under. Here's hole number 7, and players were having a difficult time with that line. Here's Alexi's girlfriend, one of the regulars out here at Putting World. She's going to San Diego State next year. And here's hole number 1. This is a very tough tee box on hole 1. Players having a tough time making it and keeping the ball close. Here's Lance Brown, hole number 8. Beautiful putt for Lance there.
There you go.
And here's hole number 10. You can see this left to right putt just not breaking enough for a lot of the players. Nice make for that gentleman here. And here's hole 17. Tough tee box. They've put it way over to the right, which requires you to really hit the putt hard to be able to make it. Here's Lance Brown, hole 10. Just leaves it high side. And here's Parker Colvin, hole number 17, and you can see how hard this putt breaks. And now Parker for par. This is a tough little left to right putt, but Parker has no problem executing that. Now we got Richard Herbert, hole 16. Richard's left this a little bit short. He's got about 6 feet for par. This putt breaks a little bit right to left, and oh yes, Richard with his signature Shooter McGavin move with his finger. And there's Jacob Stas, hole 17. You can see him running that long. Now let's go to Jeff Kirk, hole number 3. They got this tee box in another really tight spot over there. Not a long hole, but a very tough putt to read. Let's go to the leaderboard. John Kropanak still leading the way at -4. Kevin Lucas in 5th place at -3. Jacob Stas also tied for 5th at -3. Let's go back to the action. This is Mike Gonzalez, hole 3. Had that on a really good line, but just misses it low side. Here's hole number 9, one of the easiest holes on the course. And here's a great back view of hole number 11. This putt breaks about a foot left to right. Let's see if he orchestrates this well, and he does. And here's Brock Gillespie, hole 18, trying to get under par on this round, and unfortunately that's not going to happen. He'll shoot even par for his first round. This is hole 12, another tough tee box. And now Jacob Stas finishing up for par here on hole 17. Jacob currently at -3. Nice putt for Jacob. Here's Charles Klingsbaker trying to fight back after that really tough hole he had earlier. He's a really good putter, and I would assume he would climb back up that leaderboard. And here's Chris Johnson, our leader at 4 under for par. Nice putt for Chris there. And here's Jeff Gibraltar. You can see how hard that putt breaks. Now this should come back a little bit off that hill, and it does. Here's Charles Klingsbaker, hole 16. He's got this on a beautiful line. Just misses high side. And here's Chris Johnson, hole 17, and this will show you how much that putt breaks. The tee box is placed at a very tough location for the players. I even saw some of the players rolling it through the rough on this hole. Very tough to get that one close. Here's Lance Brown for par on 16. Will it go in? Oh yes. He steered that one in nicely. Here's Jeff Gibraltar, hole 18. And Jeff has a nice round going right now. Here's hole number 8. This putt breaks a little bit right to left. And here's Jeff Kirk. Oh, he just leaves that short. And players are starting to finish up their first round. Here's Jeff Kirk, hole 10. And he'll make this for par. Jeff has a nice round going of -2 right now. Here's Mike Gonzalez, also at -2. Mike won a national putting tour event here early in the year. He really knows this course well. Had the 36-hole lead in the last event. And a nice fist bump for Mike there. And here's our leader, Mark Garrity. Mark now has it at 7 under. He's got the round of the day going. Here's Parker Colvin. Nice make for him there. And here's Jeff Galloway. Jeff won an event on the National Putting Tour last year at Valley Golf Center. Now let's go to the leaderboard. We got Mark Garrity at -7, leading by 3 over Kevin Lucas and a handful of top putters. Richard Herbert at -2, very nice round for him, tied for 10th. Mike Gonzalez also at -2. Andrew Willis at -1, tied for 22nd. Probably a disappointing round for him, but he's such a phenomenal putter. I know he'll climb back up the leaderboard. John Weichel at -1. Very nice round for John. We got a number of players tied for 30th. Jeff Galloway, Blake Christensen, and Jeff Kirk are the standouts on that list. Now let's go back to the action. We're now here in round 2. There's Tom Kalinowski with a nice par. Here's Mike Gonzalez with a nice par. We got Jacob Stas here, hole number 10. Oh yes, nice make for Jacob. And here's Andrew Willis. Oh yes. And there's Jeff Kirk there. Here's Kevin Lucas. Kevin, one of the top competitive putters in the nation, won the first World Putting Tour event earlier this year. A tough miss for this gentleman here. Here's Kevin Lucas, hole 17, cleaning up for his par. Kevin currently at -2. Now let's go to Jeff Gibraltar, hole 17. Jeff plays this extremely firm, and this has to get down a little bit, and oh no, it gets stuck up in the rough. And that's the one risk about going strong there. You just hope it doesn't get stuck in that rough. And we got an updated leaderboard here. Mark Garrity still in the lead at -7. Hide Yoshihara, UCLA standout, moving up the leaderboard at -6. Jacob Stas has a great second round going. He's now at -6 through 8 holes. And let's take a look at hole number 6 here. They got this tee box in a really tricky spot.
Guys are struggling on 6 right now, which still should hold up.
Players are having a very tough time with that hole. There's hole number 5, and you can see that player just laying up out to the left. Here's hole 17, Jacob Stas. just misses. Here's Parker Colvin, hole 17. And Parker just misses that low side. And you can see what can happen on hole 6 there. Very easy to roll it out of bounds. And they have the tee box set up in a really tough spot on hole 2. A lot of players were going out of bounds just like this. You can see that ball roll off into the rough. And unfortunately, that is an out of bounds putt. He will have to go back and hit 3 again. Nice putt for that gentleman on hole 8. And another nice putt on hole 10 for that gentleman. This middle island is a bunch of really short holes. The players at the top of the leaderboard are always taking advantage of these holes. Some of these feel almost like must-make putts if you're going to win this thing. Here's Kevin Lucas. He misses that low side. We're back here at hole 11. A nice make by this gentleman here. And now let's go to Jeff Gibraltar. And
Looks good.
oh yeah, he follows suit. Jeff's starting to climb up that leaderboard as usual. Here's Mike Gonzalez, hole 13. Unfortunately, he misses there. We got Mark Garrity at -8. Hide Yoshihara and Jacob Stas at -7. John Kropenak with a decent second round. He's tied for 4th at -6. DJ Lance, Ryan McPherson, and KC Barter are tied at -5. Let's go back to the action here. Hole number 8. We go back now to hole 1, and they've put this in a really tough spot. Now let's look at the leaderboard in regard to the bottom of the leaderboard, and you can see some of these numbers that some of these players are putting up. It's a little bit misleading because this putting world course is probably the toughest putting course in the world when they put the tee boxes in tough spots. Some of these World Putting Tour events, they put the tee boxes in some easier spots. This WPT event, the tee boxes are in very tough positions, so the scores are gonna be high. Now let's go down to the second day and third round action. This is Alex Harju. She's hitting her second putt here. Where the tee box was, it was a very tough spot, and you had to lay up to that spot. So most of the players are going to be making bogey on this hole. Alex is an excellent putter. She's got this for bogey. And a very nice putt for Alex. Now we got Alex Harju, hole number 3.
Okay.
They've put this tee box in a pretty good spot. A lot of players are going to be able to make this putt. Here's Samantha Gans. She's good friends with Alex, and they're playing together today. Very nice putt for Samantha here. She'll have this for par. And she rolls it in.
Like what I was thinking.
And here's Carlos. Felt bad for this gentleman. He had a number of balls where he had rolled it off the green. That was a very tough tee box. And here's hole number 5, and you can see how far this putt breaks from right to left. It's a pretty good putt there for this gentleman. And he'll have about 3 feet for par here. This putt is pretty much dead straight. Let's see if he orchestrates this correctly. And he rolls it in nicely. And we have a new updated leaderboard. Jacob Stas is now on top of the leaderboard at -10. Mark Garrity, Chris Johnson, and Ryan McPherson are tied at -9. The players are really starting to grind hard. When we go out to hole 16, here's Mark Melancon. Mark has this on a really nice line. This has got a chance. He's going to miss that a little bit long. Mark really likes this putting world surface. He has this for par. Oh yes, nice putt from Mark there. Here's Charles Cleansbaker, hole 17. Charles slowly climbing up that leaderboard. Here's Mike Gonzalez. Just misses it low side. A lot of players were missing that putt. It broke a little bit right to left. And you can see this gentleman here orchestrate that perfectly. Here's Parker Colvin, hole 18. He's got this on a good line. Does it have enough speed? No, he's going to be a little bit short there. Here's hole 2, and you can see how players are just laying up. That's really all you could do on that hole. If you try to go at the hole, you run the risk of going long and running out of bounds. And there's Mark Garrity, hole 17, tapping in for par. This gentleman probably has the coolest ball out there. And here's hole 14. You can see how players are just laying up to the right. The slope is so tough from left to right, you just can't even go at the hole. There's Chris Johnson with a nice par on hole 12. And now we go to Chris Johnson, hole 13. He's got this on a beautiful line. Oh, yes. One of the best in the world, showing you how it's done. And there's another gentleman on hole 13 playing a similar line. Now we take a look at hole 15. They got the tee box over on the right, so this is a right to left putt. A lot of players are missing hole 15 because it's uphill and you don't see it. And here's one of the local putting legends, Nathan Strand. Got to have a lot of conversations with Nathan. He's a really good guy, an excellent putter. And we got a new leader here. Once again, it's Mark Garrity. Mark is now at minus 11. Here's him on hole 16. He's got this on a great line. And here's Mark on hole 17. He's got a very smooth putting stroke. It's no surprise at all that he's one of the leaders here today. Now you can take a look at hole 13 with that tee box over on the right-hand side. And there's John Kropanak tapping in for par. John's still at minus 6, but he's having a great tournament. And here's hole number 3. They got the box set up over on the left-hand side. This putt breaks about a foot left to right. Here's Hide Yoshihara. Hide is one of the top putters in the World Putting Tour. And let's go to the leaderboard. It's Mark Garrity still at minus 11. Jacob Stas at minus 10. Chris Johnson at minus 8. You can also see Hide Yoshihara at minus 8 there. Watch out for him. Jeff Kirk having a great tournament, tied for 11th at minus 5. Jeff Gibraltar and Andrew Willis hanging in there. Expect those guys to climb higher up on that leaderboard. And there's Kevin Lucas at minus 4, just hanging around. The players are now starting round number 4. This is the final round. As usual in competitive putting, the cream always rises to the top, especially at this putting world course. Here's Hide Yoshihara, and Hide's trying to go out of the rough and just didn't hit it either hard enough or far enough left. Here's Jeff Gibraltar, hole number 8. A very common miss on hole 8 with that tee box over on the left-hand side. It's just very easy to hit it long there for some reason. Here's Jacob Stas with a nice tap in on hole 2. And an updated leaderboard. Garrity has fallen back a little bit. We got Jacob Stas now leading the way at minus 10. There's Jeff Kirk finishing things up. Nice round for Jeff. And here's hole 18. Now we got Chris Johnson for par. Nice putt for Chris on hole 12. And let's go for this tap in on hole 14. Not the easiest of putts, but he makes it. And a nice tap in for this gentleman here as well. Let's go to Mark Garrity, just misses there, and now Chris Johnson on hole 13. Now let's take a quick peek at the leaderboard, and once again, Jacob Stas is leading the way. He's at minus 11. We are in the 4th round here. These players are coming down the stretch, and things are starting to get tense. I really can't believe that putt didn't go in. Jacob had that on a really nice line. And here's a beautiful putt on hole 14 for Chris Johnson. And here's Mark Garrity. He's got to start making putts here, and he leaves that one low side, unfortunately. Here's Garrity, hole 13. This putt's almost not makeable. Some of the players are taking it long off that back hill and rolling it back in, which Mark did there perfectly. Here's Chris Johnson, hole 15. He's got to start making putts here, and he can't believe that didn't go in. Chris currently 3 back, so he had to make that there if he wanted a chance to win. And here's Jacob on hole 13, and what a beauty that was. From that spot, that's about as close as you can get. Here's Mark Garrity, hole 14, laying up over on the right-hand side. Now he's got this 5.5. Chris can't believe it. Here's Ryan McPherson at 10 under. He has this to go to 11 under. This is worth a lot of money, and oh yes. Even though Ryan still won back, that is an excellent putt worth thousands of dollars. Here's Chris Johnson, hole 18. This is to get to minus 10, and oh yes. Kevin Lucas gives him a low 5 there. Excellent tournament for Chris. Now here's Mark Garrity, hole 18. Mark trying to gain spots and move up that money list, and oh yes, he's definitely a fan favorite. Nice putt from Mark there. Now here's Jacob Stas, hole 18. He's at minus 12. All he needs is a par to win, and what a great putt that was. He didn't want to do anything silly there and run it 4 or 5 feet past. So we got Jacob Stas now, a 1-foot putt to win WPT event number 5. And oh yes,
Nice tournament, Jake.
Jacob Stas, one of the nation's best putters, wins another tournament here at Putting World. And it's official, Jacob Stas has won event number 5 here at the World Putting Tour, shooting minus 12. Ryan McPherson shoots minus 11. Chris Johnson, Scott Spiewak, and Mark Garrity all tie at minus 10 for 3rd place. Kevin Lucas, Jeff Gibraltar, and Hide Yoshihara finished at minus 8, tied for 6th. But this 2-day